July is over, and my reading was very red. That just means I read 2 books that have red in the title. R-E-D, the color. I'm now realizing that's confusing because it's like a reading wrap-up, but... July 2025 is in the books. I had a great July, to be honest with you all. Most of July, I was on vacation with my wife. We were doing a road trip through the Pacific Northwest and down the California and Oregon coasts. It was delightful. Because of that, I didn't get as much physical reading done as I normally do, but I had a lot of time in the car, so I actually read a lot of audiobooks. So this wrap-up is going to be relatively quick because I only read 5 books in the month of July. But those 5 books, I think, are pretty, all of them are pretty big, kind of booktube-esque books. So I think I'm gonna, though people have comments on all of these, and actually I think all 5 of them I'm gonna have reviews on the channel soon. So I won't do super deep dives, but they are coming because all of these are from big booktube, Reddit, fantasy, sci-fi series. So first, I continued my reading of the novels of the Malazin Empire with Orb, Scepter, Throne, which is... the physical copy is elsewhere. This is just the jacket, but it works. This book, just imagine a physical book. Mostly I enjoyed this. I won't say much about this because if you haven't read Malazin, this felt a lot like, and I will say this on my review, a special feature to the Malazan Book of the Fallen, specifically Toll the Hounds. It sort of fills out a couple of the stories and gives you a little bit like extra or like deleted scenes of characters you love, like Spindle or Ansi. Get a little bit of Krupp. Like you get some like fun, I don't know. It's just like, if you really like Malazan like I do, it's a fun time, but it's not, in my opinion, like an excellent book. But I'm glad I read it. It's probably my 2nd or 3rd novel of the Malazan Empire. Stonewielder still is by far my favorite and kind of stands on its own in my head. Orb, Scepter, Throne and Knight of Knives are both kind of fun additions to someone who loves the main series and then didn't like Return of the Crimson Guard. So, read Orb, Scepter, Throne. Now let's get into Abercrombie land, because as many of you... Why would many of you know? Why did I say that? You guys don't know this, because I don't think I've talked about it on this channel. I am trying to get to the Age of Madness trilogy from Joe Abercrombie because I don't love the First Law trilogy. I think it's fine. It has some really good strengths, but overall it can't overcome what I perceive to be some hollowness to the plot and sameness to the characters to be like a best of all time for me. I know that that is sort of an unpopular booktube opinion. But I did read Best Served Cold a couple years ago, and that's my favorite Abercrombie book that I have read. And I thought, oh, so maybe he is maturing. That sounds condescending. I don't mean maturing in the condescending way, but just like his writing is evolving to a place that I can appreciate it a little more than I did before. So I wanted to read the 2 other standalones. It's kind of been on my TBR for a long time. And finally, after Joanna Reads and her video of top 10 put Age of Madness in there, I was like, okay, I almost always agree with Joanna's takes, and I think they have like really strong merit. So I have to give Age of Madness a try. And to get there, I have to probably reread First Law, or at least do a deep dive on First Law, and then these standalones. So I read The Blade itself, the first book in the First Law in June. Talked about that in my wrap-up there. And I was like, I can't do this whole series again. So I read through and reminded myself how that series finished, and now have gone to the other 2 standalones that I haven't read, which is The Heroes, which I read and finished, and Red Country, which I read and finished this month. Then I'm going to take a break in August, and then September I'm coming back, and I'm going to do the Age of Madness, and I'm really, really excited about it. Maybe I should do like a read through and actually have like live discussions with it. It's hard because you have to read so much to get there, so if people aren't like ready, it's tough, but I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll find somebody who hasn't read it but has read the other stuff. Let's go through those books. The Heroes. This is sort of like Abercrombie's Saving Private Ryan. It's a complete battle story. The whole thing takes place over 3 days. It's got some really cool elements. There are some really unique, fun characters that I liked. Calder, actually. One of the strengths of the book is that characters that you previously did not like or didn't root for, or at least were like background characters in the original First Law trilogy, are front and center, and almost all of those hit. Calder, I think, is a really, really interesting character, as is, what's his name? Gorst. I think is a fantastic character and a despicable character, but a very interesting character to read from their perspective that I really appreciate. And this is just the North and the South are at this place fighting for 3 days. And I thought it was good. Played to some of the strengths of Abercrombie, particularly his good use of space in battles, some unlikable characters that bring interesting perspectives. Still, to me, overall, it was good, not great, but I enjoyed my time with it, and I got encouraged about this Abercrombie read-through. Next, I read Red Country, which is the first of the 2 R.E.D. Red books that I read this month, and that is now, I think, true? That or Best Served Coal are my favorite Abercrombie books so far. It is kind of an interesting mix of like Oregon Trail and the First Law trilogy. There is a very clear like revenge plot. It's very taken where literally in the early scenes, 2 children are kidnapped by this roving band, and then you follow the people whose kids were taken as they try to retake them in this place called the Far Country, which is like this unpopulated, at least by what people consider civilization. Anyway, I just loved the setting. I thought that was really great. That's the basic setting of the actual book, is just like getting these children back. And there is a return of the main character. It says this on the back of the book, so this is not a spoiler, but there is Logan Ninefingers back in this book, who's not my favorite character, but is a fun character to call back to that people really loved from the First Law trilogy. And I actually think over this book, Logan is actually, as a character, done much better and more consistent than in the original trilogy for me. I think there was a much more clear idea of what that character was doing. I really liked Red Country. It was also fun as I was literally driving across the plains to read about this book where they're crossing similar plains that are quite, I think, clearly informed by the Western expansion of the United States and, again, sort of Oregon Trail myth and legend kind of thing. Yeah, I really liked Red Country. The second book I read that had red in the title is All Systems Red, which is the first Murderbot diary from, what is her name? Martha Wells? I think it's Martha Wells. One second. It is Martha Wells. I think this is a phenomenally fun book. And it was really a great change from the Esselmont Malazan books and the Abercrombie books, which are really heavy and at times dark, serious fantasy, to do this very playful, fun, and yet still intriguing, page-turning sci-fi book. Really, really loved it. Strongly would recommend All Systems Red. It is easy to read. It's a short book. It's almost a novella, really. I'm already listening to the second one, Artificial Condition, right now, and it's a blast. The basics of it is there's this thing, it's not called a Murderbot, but it calls itself Murderbot. It's like a security android that is set to this contract by a company, and things go wrong with the contract. And it's a unique security bot because it's hacked its governing systems, which means that like the company doesn't control it as much as we think, and it doesn't have to obey the rules of robotics like most androids and robots have to do in these books, artificial intelligence robots. And so it's really fun to read. Really, really likable. Murderbot is great. I just loved it. I literally listened to it in one sitting because I had a long drive through the Dakotas, and I started it. It's like 4 hours, and listened to it from beginning to end, and it was excellent. Loved it. I mean, I recommend All Systems Red. It's a great book. It's a great palate cleanser. It's a great just on its own. It's great. I love it. Murderbot. Give me more Murderbot. And there's so much more I can read. Now there's a TV show. So much to do. The final book that I read in July is The God Is Not Willing, which is a tremendous book from Steven Erikson, the first book of Witness, which is the new series that takes place 10 years after the Malazan Book of the Fallen. This book is phenomenal. I have a whole long review on it. I had a live show that I recorded a couple days ago with Rhythma on this book. Go check that out. I think it should be posted, so I'll link it below. I love this book. You can see me talk about it a lot. I did an initial review 4 years ago, and now I've done a new one this week. So I've talked about that a lot. I love it. It's a 5-star, best all-timer. Funny, smart, great themes. Strongly recommend God Is Not Willing. Also want to let you know that the next book in the Tales of Witness, No Life Forsaken, is coming out in October. So pre-order that. If you're a fan, pre-orders are important. And that was my July. Let me know what you think of the books that I have read. I think probably we'll get the most about Abercrombie books, maybe some Malazan content, but also something new for me that I kind of just randomly picked up is All Systems Red, and I loved it so much. Have you read Murder Diaries? What do you think? Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. First in, last out.